good. Well, everyone, welcome to a different kind of casual chat. So for some reason, it just wouldn't work. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. As I said, on the live, who cares? So I'm actually speaking to the lovely Ari Powell. Now, as I said, I got to meet her in Bali and we just clicked. Like, you know how you meet those people and you just click? Love it. So that's Ari and I. We just clicked, and maybe because we're probably both a bit crazy. We're both Tasmanian, so that might be it as well.
Definitely. It's the shared scar.
It could be. No, excuse me. I actually had plastic surgery when I was born. There is no scar. So for those people that don't know, there's a thing about Tasmanians. We've got 2 heads, 6 fingers, 6 toes, all that kind of stuff. So we joke about the scar.
I wear a scarf.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. So let's chat to lovely Ari. So Ari, if you want to actually tell me about your business, what you actually do, how you help people, because in one of the lives I was starting to talk about your business.
Yeah, cool. So I'm a mindset mentor and Creatrix transformologist. And so the work that I do is with women around their limiting beliefs and their confidence levels and just their ability to make decisions and go, forth confidently in their business and life. So I don't exclusively work with women in business, though it seems to work out that they at least have a side hustle, if not a full business. But I think that's probably also because nothing triggers your doubts, fears, and general lack of worth when it comes than a business. So I do tend to work in a food, right? It's just the best trigger. So I work with women who are looking for that. And really just not sure how to step into that next level of their business and of their life, to take that next step, that next confidence step. I work with women around their mindset, the limiting beliefs that they hold, and I do that through both a program that I have. It's an online course called the Goal Getting Formula for Heart-Centered Women, and that really is about it's a goal-setting program that's not a goal-setting program, because it's all about how to get your head straight so that you can actually achieve your goals. And then the work that I do for those that are sort of a bit more, I'm reluctant to say advanced, but but in a different sort of space. They are my clients then that I work with Creatrix, which is a process itself that is specifically about I don't want to say removing, because that's not accurate either, but transforming limiting beliefs into new knowledge and understandings about themselves so that they can actually then take that next step. I think you mentioned in the live around breaking cycles, and this is very much the conversation I tend to be having. People kind of like, why do I keep doing this thing? Why is it that it's not until I've done it a million times that I finally try and make a change? And it's about that, you keep getting the lesson until you get the lesson. So Creatrix fast tracks that lesson process. So instead of doing 4 years of banging your head against a brick wall, thinking, why can't I make progress, and finally having a breakthrough, Creatrix does it in a session with whatever's happening and moves you forward really quickly. So, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Because, it's like people going to a psychologist for 20 years. Why are you going to a psychologist for 20 years? Something's not right. Things should have shifted by now. And that's what I love about what you do, is you shift it quickly and then, you move on to the next thing. So what actually got you into this?
Ooh, long story that I'll make short. So for my entire life, I struggled with anxiety and depression, quite extreme high anxiety and quite deep suicidal depressions. Not that anyone around me would necessarily have twigged to that. I was a master disguiser. I was, showtime when I'd turn up to work, and and when I explain this to people, they're like, oh my God, I get it. So I was very good at being the very functional, very in control, very on top of things person. But I just crash and burn in private, and it was quite destructive, and it was a cycle for me. So I'd dig myself out, I'd get going again, and then something else would happen and I'd be back in that pit. So I genuinely got to a point where After my second child, I had returned to work. I was really struggling with depression, and I caught myself. I'd been thinking about doing Creatrix from a professional point of view. I was like, oh, like something's holding me back in my business and this might do that. But I kept putting it off and putting it off. And then about 18 months later, I was driving home from work and I just caught myself in this really weirdly pragmatic thought process around how to basically take myself out in the most efficient and least impactful on others way. And I caught myself in this thought and thinking, okay, this is nuts. Like, I can't live my life like this. It's actually not serving me and it's not serving the people around me. So I finally just went, something's got to give, you know. I finally got the lesson really of like actually do something. I wish I'd got that lesson 18 months earlier. So I went and had my breakthrough. It was a week-long retreat where we just did nothing but Creatrix to just clear and clear and clear. And at the same time, we learned a little bit about doing it ourselves. So after that, I fully intended to come back and do the next level. At the time, there were 3 levels, and I thought, oh, I'll come back and do that next level. And life just got in the way, really. And so again, like, life moved on. But I had the best year of my life. So my business boomed and, you know, like everything was amazing and people around me were like, wow, something's really changed. My relationship was with my husband was amazing. With my kids, it was amazing, all that kind of stuff. And I was pregnant with my 3rd child. And I was like, you know, everything was going so well and amazingly that I was like, right, I'm going to quit my teaching job. I'm going to give myself 4 months to grow my business before baby arrives. And it's just going to be like me against the world. And it's like brilliant. And about 6 weeks after I put in my papers for all of that to happen, I actually received the really tragic news that my baby, I was 30 weeks pregnant, and that she had actually passed away. So I had to then go through that process of grieving. But what I realized in that time, and it's a weird slant to take, I suppose, but what I realized in that time was the me who 12 months earlier, if you'd given me a side glance at work, would have gone into the overthinking process of, oh my God, what does that mean? What do they think? Oh, they must hate me. Oh, everyone hates me. Oh my God, I hate myself, blah, 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 and spiral into depression. Not particularly stable kind of person. There I was dealing with arguably one of the most horrific things that a mother could deal with, and handling it like really surprisingly well. And I realized that was really the ultimate test of what Creatrix had done for me. And so I decided I needed to make it mean something. I needed to have something good come from it. So instead of quitting my teaching, I actually just went on and trained. I went and trained for level 2 and I went and trained for level 3. Those levels don't exist anymore. The program's kind of changed a bit. But I'm now licensed to work with both people one-on-one, and I'm one of the few people licensed to work with very small groups as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of 19 in the world or something crazy like that. Yeah.
But that's just, I mean, that just really blows me away. The fact that you could deal with something like that, but, you know, deal with it in a way that, you know, you sort of look back and go, wow. I mean, that just blows me away. Like, that's how powerful this program is. You know, and you'd only done level 1. You hadn't done the others.
Yeah, so I had my own breakthrough and cleared a whole lot of stuff. And so I think for me what it was, and the more I think about how we deal with grief, and when I'm working with clients as well, and they're going through grief of redundancy, or grief around a relationship breakdown, or grief around, you know, missing a promotion, or like those sorts of grieving processes that we have, as well as obviously deaths in their family and space. A real common factor that I see time and time again, and for me makes a lot of sense with why I handled my own grieving process so well, I suppose, is that it's not the loss itself that messes with our head. It's what we make it mean. I'm a failure. I've let my family down. I'm a terrible mother. If I were a better person, this wouldn't have happened. If I brought this on myself in some way, I've made this, I've manifested this because I'm a bad person, or this is my karma, or this is, so those beliefs that we hold, they're the ones that mess with our head. Yes, we're still like the grief and the loss itself is hard, but we make it harder on ourselves because of all of the other baggage that we then just pile on top of it. And so I suppose why it meant that I could handle it so well is because I'd pulled a lot of that baggage was gone. So all I had to deal with was the grief and the loss, rather than all of the other stuff.
Geez, I wish I'd known you before, because I went for so many jobs and didn't get them. I mean, looking back now, I know why. I need to be in business. That's my passion. But it was, and looking back now, when you're talking about it, I realised I did actually go through a grieving process, because I felt I was the right person for the job, but there were circumstances, and I won't sort of go into that I didn't get it. Yeah. And it's like, wow, you know, like if I'd had you, it would have been just like, yep.
And that's the thing, is that why I sort of, I tend to work in play in that space of goal setting, even though it's not goal setting, is because we set those goals like, oh, I'm going to get this job. And then we get disheartened and hurt because we're like, because we do. We're like, but what's wrong with me? That's what we make it mean. What's wrong with me that I'm not given this job? And on actually a couple of my clients that I'm recently working with, literally this is what they're going, you know, the stuff that they're going through. But it is very much that, let's unpack that a bit. Let's actually look at, well, what is it? Like, what are you making it mean? And the more you uncover that, we're like, oh, okay. And so all of a sudden, the next step of applying for a job, the kinds of jobs to apply for and the way to present and the energy, and I know this is your language, right? The energy that you go into where you can answer honestly on a job criteria or in a job interview question, and answer fully embodying yourself and fully visible as you and your beliefs, fully confident, because you know, hey, if they can't handle the answer that I'm giving them from me, I don't want to work in this place anyway. Like, it's going to kill me. I'm going to be miserable in this job. I'm going to quit in 6 months' time anyway, or they're going to sack me, or the probation period will be up and they won't renew my contract, or whatever. So it's kind of almost that, if you can go in with that powerful energy, they're either going to see that and go, oh my God, shut up and sign this contract. We need you on board. Or if it's a mismatch of energy, then it's probably a good thing that it didn't work out in the first place.
Wow.
And having that attitude of being able to go, okay, well, that job's not for me. What is it that I'm after? What's going to really fulfill me? And we can be more successful in that space than killing ourselves trying to apply for stuff that's going to make us miserable anyway.
Yep. So do you actually help people with the actual interview process? So you do Creatrix on them, so then they go into the interview with a better, you know, like energy and all that kind of stuff. Is that what you can help people do?
They can. I mean, really what it comes down to is I don't generally work around any specific thing that they're wanting to achieve. What we actually do is we look, it's more of a holistic thing, because I really believe that how you do one thing is how you do another. It's, you know, if you do something in business or life or whatever, relationships, all those sorts of things, we kind of trip ourselves up on the same stuff. It looks different, but when you dig underneath it, it's whatever the belief is that we have that trips us up. So I tend to then look more holistically around, let's just look at what's annoying you in your life, what's frustrating you, where are you feeling stuck, blocked, angry, frustrated, like let's get it all out. And so I take people through a pre-assessment process where we just get everything out, and then I analyze that, and there's where I kind of pull out and make a comprehensive list of every block and belief that I can identify there.
Wow.
And then I give it back to the client and go, right, let's rate them out of 10. How intense are they? If they can't rate it, because sometimes we can be so closed off to our emotions that we're like, I know it's bad, but damned if I know how bad it is, because I'm just so disconnected. So we often in those cases can do a process that's like a scenario generating process where we can identify, and it's not couple of times we can either go to a memory that they have, but if they're really closed off, if they've suppressed that so badly, then we actually construct scenarios that is not them. So they can then go, well, this is how it is. So then we get those ratings, comprehensive list, and then we work out, okay, we're going to do 3 or 4 sessions. Depends. Often we get suppressed stuff come up in between. That's all included in the process, because it's like if you suppress it so much and then you start peeling off the layers, all of a sudden it can pop up. So it's like that's all in there. And then we clear all of that away. So what they do then is come out kind of like cleaned out with a whole heap of different new learnings, a new understanding about themselves, a new perspective on life and the world. And it means then that they are able to start stepping into a more powerful place. And yes, if that is in the job interview, they're going to go in more confidently and more embodied. If that's in their relationship, making decisions about what to do, yes, it will affect that. How they parent, yes, it will affect that. How they show up in their job, yes, it will affect that. How they show up in their business, yes, it will affect that too. It will ripple out, because what it does is it puts them back in the center and works on them, the person, not the role, the goal, the responsibility. It's you. And so it's a powerful place of kind of putting you back in the center of your world and rippling out into all of the roles that we inhabit.
Wow. How powerful is this? It's just amazing.
As you can tell, I can talk about it all day.
Oh, I'm the same with what I do.
I know.
Beautiful. Now I've forgotten all my questions. I love it. So yeah, and talking about visibility now, so have you actually used Creatrix on yourself for your business to actually help become visible and all that?
100%. So one of the things that I actually Creatrix, kind of almost like for gills really, because it was named up by the founder of Creatrix, who created that process, was doing some more research and more development, as she's always working on stuff. And she was like, oh yeah, suppression, like we don't realize we've got stuff going on because we actually suppress it. Hate is one that a lot of women are very reluctant to admit, because our whole lives we're told, oh, hate's a really bad word. But you don't hate someone, you just dislike them. And I think, or maybe I hate them, but I'm told I'm not allowed to. And so we suppress that. We suppress a lot of stuff. So I didn't think I had suppressed. And victimhood was the other one that she suggested. And I didn't think I was a victim either. I very confidently didn't feel like I was a victim. I didn't feel, that I was a victim of things that had happened to me, but I didn't feel like I had taken that on as an identity, as a victimhood kind of negative thing. But I thought, oh, well, may as well get in there and have a crack at it, just to see what comes out. And so I checked in with one of my sister transformologists, because we work with each other, we keep each other cleaned out. And we did it, and oh my God, so much stuff came out, so many learnings came up. I'm like, okay, so if I didn't think I had suppression, yep, I did. And that was a crazy kind of time. It was about this time last year that I did it, and so much stuff then happened in that time. My message started to change a lot. Interesting, like some things in my personal relationship started to change. Like there was just so much stuff that just, again, rippled out. So yeah, suppressed was a big one for me. That really just made me, not so much that I wasn't showing up in my business before. Like I love doing Facebook Lives and, happy to put my face on Instagram and, all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was more about showing up more fully as me, raw, unfiltered, authentically who I was, not polished, spit and polish, cleaned up, curated version, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was very good at curating how I presented. And so what ended up happening was then how I showed up in some ways didn't change, but totally changed. So that was a really interesting one for me. And with clients, I've had them, one lady, she she had booked clients in the past, so we knew she could do it, but she hadn't booked one for 12 months. And she came and had Creatrix, and one of the things that we did was the fear of the consequence of speaking up.
Oh.
She really struggled. So it wasn't fear of visibility, it was the consequence of speaking up, and there were all sorts of reasons that we could unpack as to why that might have been. But so we did that one, and the test that it had worked, so to speak, was like, okay, we'll go and do a Facebook Live like right now, which she did. She signed a client from the Facebook Live that night. She went and went to a networking workshopy thing on the weekend and networked with them. So it was like a midweek kind of time we did it. That Saturday, she went and did it, signed another client. These are high-end clients as well. We're not talking like $100 for a session. We're talking $2,000 sort of thereabouts. And she signed one that night, signed one on the weekend, and then the following weekend, she messaged me going, "I've just signed a third client." Like, boom, kind of thing. Wow. So it's pretty powerful how we hold ourselves back from our success. Just from what we believe about what's possible and all that. And for her, that was a really powerful one. She just was fearful of what consequences might come from speaking up and speaking her voice. And when that was cleared, then she was able to step into that space confidently. And as a result, of course, like I can't claim that, I got her clients. That's not really
Why not?
That's not really how it works. She's obviously already in that space and doing some things. So I don't want to claim too much.
Why not?
but it just that shift, just that enough of a shift to be able to go from 12 months of pure frustration and probably a bit of anxiety and desperation in what she was going into, to all of a sudden feeling far more confident. And that people, as you say, it's magnetic. People are drawn to that. People go, "Ooh, I want what she has." That's awesome.
It is, isn't it? It's like, for me, and that case you just said is really incredible, because that was actually me. So that's been me quite a few times, because I actually grew up really religious. So what I'm doing now is considered, pagan, like, come on. And then also, and I can now say this with clarity, is as an ex-nurse. So when I was nursing, it was real restrictions on what you could put on social media. So I couldn't talk anything at all. But now I'm an ex-nurse. Guess what?
Freedom.
And it is. When you actually get to that stage, it really is. And I was looking back on my videos. Oh, my goodness. I started this page like 3 years ago now, actually. And I looked at the first videos I was doing, and I look at them, what I'm doing now, and I'm like, holy crap, I cannot believe what I've actually done. So that video 3 years ago, or those ones, I can see where the depression was still quite severe, because I was flat. I was doing videos, but I was absolutely flat. And I've even had people from the hospital look at me and go, "Wow, you've got a real light in you now." And it's like, yep, because that part of my life is over now. It's now time to help other people.
Exactly. It's it's a weight that we carry with us. We sort of, it's like when if you ever lose weight and then you sort of pick up like a bag of oranges or something, it's like, this is how much I was carrying around. You think, bloody hell! It's that kind of, you're unaware of it whilst it's on you, and it's not until afterwards when you can kind of look back and go, "Oh yeah, okay, that was really messing with my whole life."
Yes.
So which is, it's always a bit of a challenge, because sometimes we can tell ourselves that there's nothing wrong. But like me, like, I'm not suppressed. I'm fine. Right? But it's not until you do it that you're like, "Oh, okay, maybe I want to do it." So that, which can be hard, because we can sometimes talk ourselves into this idea of like everything's fine, and until we can actually see that it's not fine, or that or it could be better. Like, and I suppose that's not saying, it's like not saying that you're broken or that there's something wrong with you or anything like that, but it's that you're fine. But wow, you could be so much better. Like, you could be so much more happy. Like, I was showing up in my business. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing. But I could just be so much happier and so much more connected with me and who I am and who I was then and who I am now. Why wouldn't you want that better version where it feels lighter and more connected and joyous, for sure?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how have you found visibility has changed for you being in business?
Ooh, visibility for me, I think definitely in the early days there was that wanting to be almost like the business as an entirely separate
Mm,
entity. I kind of, I suppose, had business as an idea of like um, more corporate business. So I was kind of thinking in terms of like, you know, have a logo in my profile, like my on my business page in the profile picture, and like everything be more like almost clinical, I
mm,
suppose, like
yeah,
really like professional and cons- cons- you know,
mm,
constructed in a really careful way.
yeah,
And the more that I have obviously worked on myself around my mindset, but also like, you know, as you get better around understanding how business
yeah,
works and what you know,
yeah.
things can change all the time, but very much realizing around that sort of that personal branding and that I am my business in
Mm,
many ways, that my face is part of
mm-hmm,
what I'm putting out there, and that my personality is a really part that really technically, if someone wants Creatrix, there's other Creatrix transformologists out
mm,
there. They could sign up with them.
yeah,
So why me? And so understanding that I bring something very unique
mm,
that's me
yes,
to the whole thing,
yeah,
um, and embracing that
mm,
was is a really big change that's occurred, and realizing that you know, it's not really about being in competition with other people. It's about really the competition is how much more authentically true can I be to myself?
mm,
How much more can I show up truly as me and without the baggage of, oh, I better tone that down, or I can't quite say it that way, or I better censor
mm-hmm,
myself, or, you know, that sounds a bit unprofessional, I'll tighten
mm,
that up kind of
yeah,
thing. It's like, yeah, but that's me.
mm,
That's just how I roll. So
yeah,
if they can't handle it, if that puts people off,
mm,
then that's probably goes back to that job interview that we were talking
yeah,
about, right? If that puts them off in the job interview, that's a good thing. It's like,
yep,
well, if that puts off a
mm,
potential client, that's probably a good thing, because
yes,
if they don't like me in the Facebook Live that they
mm,
saw, or they don't like the fact that I, you know, dropped the F bomb
mm,
in a
yeah,
post or something like
yeah,
that, and they're really going to hate working with me. Like dead
yep,
set, they're going to loathe it. So probably a good idea that we just don't even go there.
yep,
Yeah, so that would be probably the biggest
mm,
visibility change that I've gone through in the, gosh, 3 years that I've been in business,
mhm,
really, as I've been slowly growing it as a side hustle. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I find that a lot of women in business, they do start off with that. Everything is polished, everything is absolutely wonderful, and then you also get those out there that laptop lifestyle, you can make 6 figures in a month. And it's like, come on, please. So when I see people that are real and are authentic and display their personality, it makes so much difference. It was like me, and I won't show anything yet, but there'll be a photo going up tomorrow because I bought a new microphone. So I've actually got that going up tomorrow on my page because it is about being me. And I am cheeky and I'm funny, and that's part of my personality.
Yeah.
That's what I bring through in sessions as well. And so I want people to see that because I'm the same. If you see that and turned off, see you later. I don't
Yeah.
want to know you because
Yeah.
number one, you're going to be so hard to work with. And number two, you're not my ideal client. I
Yeah.
don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
even to the extent of like, it's not even that I don't want to work with you. I mean, I'm kind of, I always have that view of like, well, I can take your money and work with you, like, sure, but you're not going to get the best result, and
Yep.
I'm not going to love it as much as I would if I
Mm-hmm.
was working with an. So it's
Yep.
more even that. It's
Yeah.
that like, yeah, I'd still get your results,
Mm.
but you're not going to walk away thinking, oh my God, Ari's amazing.
Mm.
She's changed my whole life,
Yeah.
because the result will be mediocre, but
Mm.
because we've just not clicked. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to take you as far as I would have otherwise been
Yes.
able to take you,
Yes.
and I won't enjoy the process as much
Mm.
because we haven't clicked. So
Mm.
again, my heart's not going to be quite in it as much. It's just going to be a bit meh.
Mm.
So like, yeah, sure, I can take your money, but
Mm.
wouldn't you rather spend it with someone who you totally click with, and that's going to be amazing, and then
Yeah.
I'll just go and work with someone who's just like, oh
Mm.
my God, it's amazing, I love
Yeah.
everything you do,
Yep.
and then we're all happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's so true. Yep. So, next question. I just thought of this one actually. That's what I love about this, because and the same thing with sessions and when I do meditations, things just get channeled. So what post do you love putting up the most on your Facebook page?
What post do I like putting up most? I think the ones I really love are those ones where I've sat down, I've probably probably meditated a little bit, or I've just somehow been in that zone. Maybe I've been in my spring, summer phase of my cycle, so I'm totally on fire when it comes to like putting stuff out there. And I've just written something where I'm just like, dude, that chick knows what she's fucking talking about. Like, oh my God, she's amazing. Sign me up. Oh wait, it's me. Like those ones where you just like nailed it. And like, it's almost like I don't even care whether anyone else resonates with it, because it's like, this is just me on a plate kind of thing. And those ones I really love putting out there. And of course, funnily enough, they're also the ones that lots of people connect with and resonate with. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, so I think they're my favorite ones, and they do generally accompany a selfie of some description. I've always grown up kind of being really self-conscious about my face and how I looked, and I have really bad adult acne, so I'm always sort of a little bit sort of mindful of that. But at the same time, for me, almost putting out a selfie is almost like an act of rebellion. Like, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not some beautiful, bikini model kind of. I'm 40. I have kids. My hair's grey. I've got adult acne, and I've got rolls and a double chin, and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, this is my truth, and it's gonna call you out on it. And that's a powerful place. I find that's such an empowering thing. So it's almost like, I don't care what you think. This is just what I'm going to put out there. And but it just does connect with clients as well, which is always nice.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, because there's so many more women out there now that want to see that raw, authentic, real person. They don't want to see that so-called perfect, and we are perfect. Doesn't matter what we look like, we are perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
A lot of women need to understand that we are perfect. We just need to learn how to actually recognize and understand that and embrace that.
Yes.
Because, like tonight, things went wrong with technology, but who cared?
Well, and I think that's my whole philosophy as well, is that I very much have this, like life is not a straight line. I say that to my clients probably like every other day. Life is not a straight line, and I feel like I'm living proof of that, is that you can have the best plan, things can be going really, really well, you've got an amazing plan, you're putting in steps in motion for that plan to come to fruition, and then life can just serve up a bowl of shit at you. And deal with that, bitch. Know what you were doing well? Try this on for size. And all of a sudden, your whole perfect plan's out the window. So I kind of feel like, it is about handling life as well as this amazing, like it's not just about thriving and, triumphing and being the most amazing thing. Sometimes it is simply about handling life in how it comes along, rolling with those punches. And it doesn't always sound the most inspirational, but at the same time, that's life. That's like more true, really, is sometimes it's not about like, oh my God, I've just, manifested $10,000 and a new client and a trip around the place. Sometimes it's like, I'm going through, my parents are going through a cancer diagnosis, and I got up today and I fed the kids, and I'm thinking, good on you. Like I think we underestimate that stuff sometimes as to how powerful it is, and how inspiring it can be. So I kind of feel like that's really like, people want to see that authentic, true stuff, and they want to see that because they want to see that they don't have to, that what they are achieving is amazing and incredible.
Yeah, and I think, women want to see that more. Like, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday afternoon. I started getting a really nasty headache. Woke up Wednesday, still had a headache. So I knew that I needed the morning for me. I knew I needed to work through this stuff. And I still got on my page and did a Facebook Live saying, I've got a headache, and I even with a severe headache, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. It was incredible. And that's what it's all about, and showing people that, yes, I've got a headache, and so I'm spending the morning for me, but I still want to get on here and tell you.
Yeah.
Like, this is who I am. This is what I do. And end up having a beautiful morning. And then the afternoon, I was really productive because
Yeah.
I honoured myself. I honoured what was actually happening. And thankfully, Wednesday was a quiet day. I didn't actually have clients, yet I still was productive in business. It's
Yeah.
just, and that's
Yeah.
what it's about, showing people this is life. This is what actually happens.
And living in that moment as well. I think we can, and like I'm like, first one to put my hand up about being guilty of this is that, like sometimes you can be so, I'm a great planner. I literally have a calendar sitting underneath my desk, right underneath my computer right now. So I love, like, Virgo, like plans, like put it all out, like put all the little details there. But we can get so caught up in that the next step. And that sometimes it's about living in that moment of like, like stuff happening, like a headache, and all of your plans that you have kind of going out the window a little bit, or doing some things to kind of boost your energy, but not beating yourself up with if that doesn't work, because that's the other thing. Like, we can do things to lift our vibe or whatever you want to call it, but sometimes the best thing that you can do is check out for the day and go, you know what, that's cool. I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna have a Netflix and chill day with myself, kind of thing, and that's okay too. Like, I don't have to be 100% productive every single day, 24/7. I can have down days. So I think that's the other thing, is like going with that flow, rolling with the punches, and just living in that moment, and getting that balance between what's right in front of you right now and what you would like to achieve, and setting those bigger goals and that lifting that next level type stuff, and kind of somehow being, I said to my client the other day, being okay with the gap. You kind of got to get okay with the gap. And if you're doing well, then you will have a gap. That's the other thing, like if you don't have a gap, it means either you don't have enough awareness to know that it's there, or you've closed it and you've stopped growing, and that's not good either. So if there's a gap, then that's a positive thing. So
that was what was happening with me Wednesday. I was growing because I'd been accepted to be on the Heart Centre Business Summit as a speaker, and it was like, that's actually a lot of people. That's probably about 1,500, maybe 2,000 people. Okay, hang on. No, I teach visibility. Let's just go into that. It was a whole. And it is because I've done a webinar. I do these casual chats all the time. I do Facebook. I'm doing another webinar. I'm on the Business Summit. In a beautiful ladies group, she actually had me and a couple other people as top contributors. So we got to interview one another, and it's like, what? And this lady's, quite famous. Like, it's not, it's not just.
I know who you're talking about too. I saw that.
It's like, whoa. So it's just amazing how all the beautiful stuff that we do really does help. It's just amazing. So if there was one thing that you could give the viewers to take away with, or one quote or something that you want to leave them with, to just let them know that everything will be okay.
Well, look, roll with the punches would probably be one of them. But I suppose when and probably, I suppose, going back to your concept of the visibility thing, I suppose the thing is, I actually wrote one down. What was that? I can't even think what it was. I sent them through. Remember, I sent them through. The one where I was just like, because this comes down, I think, touches on and sums up what we've talked about today as well, which is that if you act in alignment with your values and who you truly are, then you become visible to those who are aligned to you. And I think that really sums up what we've been talking about today, and what is, I think for me, I find that a very reassuring kind of concept as well, of that, we can sometimes spend so much time trying to impress others and everyone, like impress everyone, that we forget that, like, you're never going to impress everyone. Like, you're never going to, not everyone's going to be, charmed by you, regardless of how charming you are. I know, well, maybe not you, darling. Obviously, you're a different, but
I am Tasmanian, Right? We're just a magnet for,
But I think that's the thing. We can sometimes get caught up, why don't they like me? Or, no one's liking my post, or I put something in a group and it got like nothing but crickets. And so it can sometimes, as I said right at the very start, you know, being in business is very triggering
Yeah.
for all of those things. So I think it's a reassuring concept to know that, look, stop trying to impress everyone. Stop trying to be all things to all people. If you show up as yourself and you act according to your values and who you are and what's true to you, yep, you're going to piss a lot of people off. True. But you're also going to connect with those people that you're really aligned with and resonate with, and you're going to attract those people. And that is actually a far more powerful place to be, because you're not trying to twist yourself into knots with them. You can actually just show up as yourself. There's a lot of energy that we can spend creating a version of ourselves and then maintaining that version when we're on show. That energy could be so much better used. And so, yeah, so show up as yourself, act in your values, be in alignment with who you are, and all the juicy stuff comes to you that's aligned to you as well. And that's visibility.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Geez, I could talk to you forever. So awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll make sure that when I put the link in, there's a description to your page and everything, and I'm definitely going to put that last quote in again. I did actually share all your beautiful quotes on my page as well, because they were just so, what you wrote just was like amazing. And the cool thing is, that's what's happening with everyone I'm chatting to. When they send a quote that's themselves, suddenly I get inspiration.
Yeah,
this whole post comes out and it's like, whoa.
I love it when people vibe like that and you're just like ping, 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 ping. It's so cool. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Beautiful. Well, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. And I'll, as soon as this is done, it's recording, I'll chuck it on my page.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you.